Why are you sitting at that back? Come forward. Anyway, my throat is gone. 2 classes already I've taken. You will listen? Okay. Much time it is taking. E7, C7 this is, no? Science and Tech not started. Oh. No, today's topics are doable. You will be able to understand. This is the first topic. This is called pyro processing. Okay, fairly simple. When we do classes, we'll understand about one word. It is pyro. Pyro here means we are applying heat to it. Okay, like one word, if you remember, pyrolysis. Correct? So pyro processing is just a derivative of it. Now, first, what is pyro processing? So this is changing a solid material using high temperature. Now, okay, so incineration, you know, incineration is simply burning. Okay, so you are burning something. Now, this pyro processing, pyrolysis is something different. Understand what is happening here. So if let's say this is an area, okay, now here if I want to heat something, so I have some solids here. Now I am not going to burn these solids. Now essentially, don't you think that if it is closed in this container and I somehow increase the temperature of this container, let's say to 1000 degrees Celsius, what will happen? Without burning, this solid will melt, correct? And then I can give it different form, and the molten solid can be used in different ways. For example, for separating impurities and the things that I need, that also can be done here. So basically what I provide only heat here. Okay, so this is what is being done here. Now how do I provide heat? That can be from any source. I may be burning something here, I may be burning wood here, does not matter. Anything, nuclear fuel, whatever, from somewhere I will be getting heat and I will be transferring this heat here, but not burning the solids here. If I put this on fire, then it is incineration. If just temperature is raised, it is pyro processing. Now, so it is a dry process, does not use water as a medium, okay, just dry melting. Then it is generally in energy intensive, correct, because you are melting it. Then used in cement manufacturing, metallurgy and nuclear fuel reprocessing. And this is our core that we have to see. This was a The Hindu article, okay. manufacturing, metallurgy and nuclear fuel reprocessing. Now, yeah, so use case cement industry, production of clinker and cement. See, clinker, so what happens, for example, if I take this, okay, now if I heat this, carbon dioxide escapes from it. Okay, now if carbon dioxide is gone, it becomes this. Then CaO plus silica plus some alumina metal, all these are mixed together to form cement. How cement is formed, that is not very important to us. Okay, once they have asked a question on it, but that was very basic. Now, so this is being used here. Now here also what you are doing, you are not burning it, just heating it. By heat, carbon dioxide is released. Then next is metallurgy, roasting, smelting, calcining of ores. So ore, you know, so there are, see, metals, there is something known as native ores. Native ores is when metals are found in their free state. For example, iron, gold, let's say they are found, you found them, then of course there is some soil, this, that particle, but if you just clean it up, correct, then you will get the metal directly. But that is very rare, correct. Most metals, how you get? You get in the form of certain compounds. Like you might have heard of magnetite, hematite, these are ores of iron, correct. So these are some oxides of iron. So from that it will be like Fe2O3 dot something. So you will remove that OO part and what you will get out of it? Iron, correct. That process is called calcining, smelting. All these process goes on in treating ores to get the metal out of it. Understood? So ore is, what is ore, what is mineral? You know this difference in geography? See, ore is something from which you can viably extract a metal. Okay, mineral is anything that has that metal. Now many things, for example, trace amounts of gold is present in, if you go deep inside the earth and you will find some rocks, there also you can find trace amount of any metal. But that is not important. What is important? That it should be in enough quantity and in viable form that you can get enough metal out of it. It should be viable. When it becomes viable, then it is called an ore. Then nuclear sector. This is the most important, reprocessing of spent nuclear fuel. This we'll understand in detail. Understood? Some idea? Fine? Okay. Fine? You seem shocked. It's fine. Then, how is pyroprocessing used in nuclear sector? Now, understand this also. This is Purex. Purex is the normal process of extracting useful metals from spent nuclear fuel. Now, what is spent nuclear fuel? So once you have used up nuclear fuel, correct, for nuclear fission or whatever, then some part of it will be left, correct, it will be still there, correct. Now, how do we repurpose or reuse it? That becomes the issue. Now, for example, this Purex, this is plutonium, okay, and this is, sorry, this is plutonium P, this UR is uranium, this is extraction. So plutonium, uranium, extraction. Now in this what they do, they use liquid electrolyte mediums, for example nitric acid or something. So what happens, you take this fuel rod, whatever is left, you cut it into pieces, then you put it in nitric acid. Then you introduce certain compounds. These compounds actually attract only two things, that is plutonium and uranium. So these two metals will be attracted by that compound and they will go and cling to that compound. Correct? Let's say this pen is made up of that compound. So what you will do? You will dip it there. What will happen? Uranium and plutonium, these are useful to us. These are nuclear fuel. So they will get attached here. I can take this out. Correct? Whatever is left is waste. So that will be left there. That is the old process. That is the main process, Purex, that is used in reprocessing of nuclear fuel. Now, this is the new process. Here, what we do, spent nuclear fuel is cut into pieces, same thing, then placed in a molten salt bath, LiCl and KCl mixture. Now, electric current is passed through the salt. Uranium and plutonium are separated and recovered, useful in advanced fast reactor programs. So what happens here? You take molten salts. Now, uranium has some properties to lose electrons, okay, and then it will move from here to here. At some different temperatures, at some different times, plutonium will move from here to here. Because you know at what time uranium will start moving, at what time plutonium starts moving, because of that, you can extract uranium and plutonium on the other side. Here you have the molten salt. Understood? Again, you get uranium and plutonium outside, other things are left in the molten salt. This process is much more efficient, as has been said. Then, yeah, so why this is important for India? So this supports India's 3-stage nuclear program. This we'll study about when we do nuclear energy. 3-stage nuclear program by Homi Jahangir Bhabha. In that, you get different compounds, different products, and they can be used for pyroprocessing. Then, helps recycle spent fuel for fast breeder reactors. This you can understand. That some useful metal you are able to get back. That is recycling only, and then you can use it again. Then, important for utilization of India's thorium reserves, again connected to this 3-stage cycle. Research is being carried out at this Kalpakkam. Then India's first commercial fast breeder reactor is at Kalpakkam. This is current affairs, that also will be covered there. So there are 3 steps. India has recently achieved this second step, that is in the fast breeder reactor. That all we'll see in the main classes. You are able to understand? Huh? Okay. Then, yeah, even if you understand what is pyroprocessing, why it is used in spent nuclear fuel reprocessing, and it is used in cement industry as well as manufacturing industries. If you can at least understand this and what is pyrolysis, that is it. Other things will be covered when we do nuclear energy. Fine. Then, this is easy. Droughts can drive antibiotic resistance in soil bacteria, research finds. Now, you know antibiotic resistance. So after a point, what happens? That all these bacteria, microbes, they become resistant to a particular antibiotic. Then whatever antibiotic you keep on taking does not help, because the bacteria is good enough to deal with. It will survive that antibiotic. Why does that happen? You know any reason why that happens?
Partial exposure to antibiotics.
Yes. So how do they experience partial? Yes. So basically there are some anthropogenic or human errors. For example, you go to the counter, you ask, "Dard ho raha hai, give me antibiotic," and you just eat it. You don't even know that why you are taking that, but you just take it. Correct? Now doctor prescribes you dosage of 5 days, you don't complete it. Correct? You eat for 2-3 days, you are feeling fine, just throw it away. Now all these, because of all these, what happens? Unused antibiotics and all that will be present in the environment because your body didn't need it. So when you excrete or whatever, it will be present in the environment. Now, bacteria are now coming in contact with this antibiotic very frequently. Slowly what will happen? Only those bacteria which are able to survive that antibiotic will be alive, others will be gone. So just by simple natural selection, who will survive? The ones that is antibiotic resistant. Understood? Now, why it happens? Because of improper dose. Because if you are taking proper dose, then it will be used by your body itself to fight all the bacteria or microbes in your body. So that is a major reason for antibiotic resistance. Now, recently in this research, this was by Caltech. Okay, now they have found that if there are drought conditions, then the chances of antibiotic resistance increases. Now this is not because of human, correct? This is not anthropogenic incorrect dose, or in livestock also we just keep on giving them antibiotic. For example, you might have heard in chicken, in all these cow, buffalo, all these are being administered antibiotic all the time. What will happen? Now they are not used by their body, correct? So they will come in their milk, in their meat, and when we eat it, again same problem, antibiotic resistance. Now see this, drought increases antibiotic resistance in soil. Now I will just explain you what is happening here, then everything becomes factual. So what happens when there is drought? Now soil has some antibiotic elements to it, correct? Naturally it is found in them. Now what happens when there is drought? Most of these antibiotic elements tends to get concentrated. Now if they get concentrated, what will happen? Again same reason, only those bacteria or those microbes will survive which can become resistant to it. And always remember, life is very resilient, so it will fight it out, and eventually what you will have is antibiotic resistant microbes. Now how does this affect us? This is happening inside the soil. How will it affect us? Now there is something known as horizontal gene transfer. So all these microbes that are there, now they will combine with some other microbe, correct? They will mate with some other microbes and they will produce offsprings. Now the other, let's say B1 is not affecting humans. This is some bacteria not affecting humans, remains in soil. But B1 can interact with B2, correct? This is possible. Now B2 is something that causes disease, let's say TB in human. Now what will happen? B2 will have those antibiotic resistant gene, and now if you get TB because of this B2, no antibiotic or some antibiotics becomes useless. This is the whole process, and that is why drought is exacerbating this. Understood? Now, so researchers from Caltech found that drought conditions can increase levels of antibiotic resistance in soil bacteria. Core is this much only, otherwise other things are just points. Okay. Now, yeah, all these are just severe impact expected by 2050, mechanism, concentration of natural antibiotics, this you understood. Then soil is a major source of antibiotics, so meaning antibiotics also come from soil. So soil microorganisms have historically been an important source of antibiotics. Now for example, streptomycin, you know, this comes from streptococcus. This is a type of bacteria. From that you make streptomycin vaccine, drug. Okay, so all these antibiotics also come from this, and that is why when they gain antibiotic resistance, they will become resistant to streptomycin, and now streptomycin stops being effective. Then drought effect confirmed experimentally. So what they did, they took a dry sample, they took a wet sample for example, and then they tested that where they are developing antibiotic resistance more. So of course they found that in the dry case, that is a drought case, they got antibiotic resistance more. Next, beyond pollution, environment itself drives resistance. So this can be one of the statements in UPSC prelims, what they can say is, they will say that which of the following are the reasons for antibiotic resistance. Now, 1-2 statements will be improper dosage of medicine, okay, livestock being administered this, and the other reason that they can say is role of abiotic factors like drought in soil. Now, this seems far off, correct, but this would be a correct statement. This is how they do. So other things are same, antibiotic resistance, whatever you have learned, 2-3 statements would be those only. One statement will be added from current affairs. Now the good thing is, like, if you see this year's paper, so the one statement which is from current affairs, some questions, like at least 3 to 4 questions were there which hinged directly on this only, that if you know this part, you can get to the correct answer directly. Okay. Now, climate change may worsen ABR, you understand, because climate change, drought plus plus and ABR plus plus. Fine. Then, resistance can move from environment to human. This I have already explained you, horizontal gene transfer. Then, India's drought. Now, why is India particularly vulnerable? Understand. So, in India, which regions have drought issues? You know about Vidarbha, correct? So there are regions in India which are drought prone. Now, the regions which are drought prone, they are also poor, because India is very much dependent on agriculture still, at least in the lower strata. So drought regions, they are poor and they are also heavy antibiotic users, correct? Now, if you combine all this and you understand that drought itself is leading to antibiotic resistance, you understand that these regions are going to face major problems. In fact, they are facing problems. We are just understanding the cause of it now. Heavy antibiotic use, water stress, dense human-animal soil interaction, and weaker healthcare access, because they are poor. Last, need for One Health approach. Always One Health approach is basically monitoring of soil, water, animals, microbes, humans. Everyone needs to be healthy. If a part of our ecosystem is not healthy, we will keep on getting more and more diseases. Like here, if we didn't have drought, we will have lesser antibiotic resistance. So that is why they talk about One Health. Then, this was a 2014 question that came in mains. Can overuse and free availability of antibiotics without doctor's prescription be contributors to emergence of drug resistant diseases in India? Yes. Then, what are the available mechanisms for monitoring and control? Critically discuss various steps involved. Okay, so coming from the same thing, when we do that antibiotic resistance, then we'll see them. What are the exact causes and what you can do. Then, I'll do this question. This is from UPSC 2019. See, all are not correct. You can see the option. Now think. Correct? Yes. So basically, taking incorrect doses, yes. Using antibiotic in livestock farming, yes. Multiple chronic diseases in some people, that will affect him particularly. He will struggle. But if he is taking proper doses and everything, he is not contributing to antibiotic resistance. He would suffer, but not as a whole ecosystem wise, nothing. Similarly, same reason, genetic predisposition in some people. So this is also not a reason. Otherwise, you can start blaming them कि ये तो इसी तरह के लोग होते हैं. Because of them, we are getting antibiotic resistance. Of course, this is untrue. Answer is 2 and 3. Yeah. SpaceX, OpenAI, Anthropic are set to go public. Will it make AI companies more transparent? Okay, this is Elon Musk. Now, IPO, you know, economy, something has been. What is IPO? What is IPO? Initial public offering. You can just word breakdown. Offering initially? No, not this much word breakdown also.
When a company for the first time offers shares to the public.
Yes, yes. So basically what happens, see, you see this company, okay, this is what, this is Legacy IAS Academy, okay. Right now it is privately owned, correct? Now, if they think that we need to get funds from the public, now why would they want so? Because let's say they want to expand, they want very large amount of funds, so they will have to go for public offering. Now the first time they do this, this is called IPO. Now they can decide, for example, they will decide that 10% of our company we now want to send for IPO. So IPO is that initial public offering when it is released. Now once it is released, then some people will get it, like many people have applied it. So usually what happens when an IPO comes, most people apply to it. Then some of them, by lottery system, they will get some shares. Now some shares are allocated, so ultimately 10% of the share of this company is now for the public. Some people have it. Now it will be traded in the secondary market, so they are not releasing any more than 10%. 90% is still owned by these people, 10% is now owned by anybody, correct? Some people are having now if let's say I have it, I want to sell it, so I can sell it in the market, correct? Simple share market, I will sell my share and let's say she buys it, so now she have it. The company, for the company it does not matter much. In the secondary market, that is not so important to the company. Of course if it falls suddenly, then it's okay, but otherwise small changes does not affect. But IPO is very important to the company, because here for selling 10% they are getting the money directly. Understood? That's why IPOs are important. Now, so IPO is the process through which a private company offers its share to the public for the first time and becomes publicly listed on a stock exchange. Then it allows companies to raise capital from investor. After listing, ownership is distributed among founders, institutions and public shareholders. Simple. Next. Now, why they are moving towards IPO? First is of course capital requirement, then scaling infrastructure. There are companies that have lay off people to buy more data centers. This is the level that we are operating at now. Okay, because there are companies, for example, Oracle, you know, Oracle laid off a lot of people because they wanted to get more GPUs. So they didn't have money, they were not getting from their investors or whatever, so they laid off employees. This is the reason that they have kept. Then see, this is the main reason. Whatever they tell you, the reality is investor exit. So people who invested in the company long time ago, they want their profit now. So let's say somebody has invested in 10 rupees, they had gotten 1% of the company. Now they understand that if this goes for IPO, now the company's value has increased manifold. So this has, let's say, become 100 rupees for 1%. Correct? So now this investor can get a 10x return. And this is why companies are pushed for IPO. The ultimate aim, at least in India and all these companies, is to distribute. Most of these companies make losses. Okay. So what they do, all these investors, they want to get profit out of it, but somebody has to bear the loss. Who will bear the loss? Public. 9 out of 10 people in India that invest in FN futures and options, that is stocks in India, lose money, as per SEBI report. So basically, losses have to be distributed among the public. so that the investors can get profit. This is the real reason why they have to do this, because investor has invested millions of dollars. So now what they are saying, some money should come back to us. This is investors exit. So early investors and venture capitalists should get an opportunity to monetize their investment. But one caveat is there, that usually there is a lock-in period, that they cannot immediately sell, otherwise the share will crash. So they have a lock-in period. Usually founders have lock-in period of like 180 days, sometimes 90 days. Similarly, investors also have lock-in periods. For till that time they cannot sell, but after that they will start selling. Then last is market credibility. Yes, public listing increases visibility, market presence, all this. Why? Because now it will be scrutinized by the government entities, and it will be scrutinized in public. They have to publish their report for the public. How much they earned, okay, how much revenue they generated, how much profits they generated in this quarter, every quarter, all this they have to give. Why? Because now you're taking public's money. They are the shareholders now, so they must know about your financials of your company. So that is why it increases credibility. Yes. How can it improve transparency? Mandatory disclosure of financial performance. Okay, then greater scrutiny by regulator, investor and shareholders, increased pressure to disclose AI safety, operational risk, all that. Like you might have seen, you have seen those channels, Z Business, CNBC, Awaaz, this, that. What kind of companies they are discussing? Mostly they are discussing publicly listed company, that this is growing, this is what they have shown in this quarter, this much revenue, this, that. Okay, so all those will scrutinize this also, that is AI safety, cyber security, operational risk. This does not come directly under IPO, correct? They don't have to disclose it, but there is public pressure. There would be public pressure to disclose this also. Possibility of legal action against material risk are connected. Understood? Essential is what? Telling your financials. Financials you have to tell essentially. These are not essential, but they are expected. Then is it sufficient? No, not really. Okay, cannot fully address the societal concerns. Many AI risks are long term and may not immediately affect company profits. Dedicated AI regulation and safety standards, international cooperation, this still remains necessary. No alternative to it. Then next, do this. Huh? 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Anybody with any other answer? A, 1 and 2. Okay, see. This you understand, an IPO enables this, that. This is correct, to raise capital. After an IPO, the company becomes subject to disclosure requirements by security regulator. Fine. Then existing shareholders are prohibited from selling their shares after the IPO. Lock-in period does not mean prohibited. Only for that short duration. Otherwise, उसका क्या है, वो he has invested money and now you are saying कि बेचना है ही नहीं कभी. So then what he will get from it? He's just giving you money. Huh? He should have the exit now. Otherwise, what's the point of him investing so much in a unknown company? Correct. So there is a lock-in period, but saying that they are prohibited from selling their shares after the IPO, no. Understood? Only for a certain period. A. Then fine. See, first is of course correct. So this is talking about concerns related to AI. In a few firms, if it is there, yes. Advanced AI models can potentially be exploited by sophisticated cyber. Yes. Greater reliance amplify biases present in training data. Yes. If training data itself is biased, it will produce biased results. Then a public listing of AI companies automatically subject their algorithms and source code to be to mandatory public disclosure. Why they will tell you their algorithms? This is something confidential. No, they will tell everything now. Now they own nothing. No, nothing like this. Okay, so this is not required. Only financials you have to tell. Okay. Yeah, this is night vision devices. Now, nothing much. Okay, we need not go much in detail. So there has been an order that has been placed by Indian military, and because of that, we need to understand what is night vision devices. See, core I will explain you. Then everything is just. See, these are optoelectronic instruments that grant military forces a tactical edge by converting near total darkness, low light thermal signatures into clear visual imagery for round the clock operation. You understand? There is darkness, there is clouds, there is some obstruction, and you are still able to see the enemy. This is the whole point of night vision devices. Now, they work in two ways. There are two ways in which they are working, that we'll see. See, now this technology is required everywhere. To your cameras, to your the gun, the barrel, near the barrel, you are seeing that, correct? When you are trying to aim, now if this is night time, you should be able to see it again. So even in that you need NVD, then you need NVD goggles if you are roaming around, correct? So basically in every aspect you need night vision devices. Now these are the two ways in which the working principle. This is main thing, otherwise it's fine. Now first is image intensification. Now see, even if there is less light, there would be some ambient light, correct? Some ambient light because of star, because of moon, correct? Light coming from somewhere, some light will be there. Now, so what they do, they take this ambient light, whatever small amount is present, then they throw this to excite electrons. This device is doing what? It is getting those radiations and it is exciting electrons using it. Now, after that, what will they do? They will amplify this. Same thing in many electrons like this. Now, once amplification is done, then they will reverse this process. Now, can you see that ambient light was only able to excite certain electrons, but they have artificially replicated it for many more electrons, and then what they will do? So this is the same light, correct? Now, when it is emitted back, now more light is emitted than it was here, but the nature is still the same. So now you will have bright visual image. Same thing, same ambient light, but just expanded to make it more bright. This is the first process. This is called image intensification. Other is thermal imaging. So what is being said here? See, visible light is not there, na? That there is no light for you to see the reflection. But infrared light is still there. Infrared is what? You release infrared, correct? You are doing it towards me. Okay, so infrared is released by all these bodies. Now, if a person is walking towards me, I can't see him, but he is emitting infrared radiation. Infrared means heat. So he is emitting some heat, correct? Now, if the goggle, let's say, that I am wearing is able to detect the infrared radiation, will that goggle be able to make an image of a human? Correct? Because around him is just simple environment. There you are not seeing heat, but here you are seeing heat. So suddenly I can see an image. I cannot see it with my visible eyes. That I cannot do. But in my goggle I can see it using infrared. And that is why I know that there is a person right in front of me. I can even aim at him and probably kill him. Understood? That is called thermal imaging. Why thermal? Because it is using infrared radiations. These are the two tech. Then it's nothing. So globally it started with Germany in World War II, then USA applied it. USA, China, these are leading entities, fine. Strategic imperative for India. So this is important for our preparedness, border security. Night vision devices are basically anything you want to do at night, you need this. Night or any kind of obstruction, all those. Private sector indigenization. Now this you need to know, which is this. MKU and Medbit. These are two Indian private companies. Now, they were given this technology by DRDO. Okay, so basically transfer of technology. After that, they have been given a contract to make contract of 659 crores to make almost 30,000 generation 3 night sites. So basically 30,000 night sites are usually like in this case they are making it for rifle barrels. Okay, so there that you see with the rifle now, like if you have played games you might have seen that sometimes you get night vision, okay, as a power, and then you can see all those people and then you can kill them. Same thing, correct? So same thing, they are making 30,000 order they have got. These are the two companies that have got this. Okay, yeah, specifically slated for Army's SIG 716 assault rifles to heavily enhance infantry lethality. Then institutional support, all this is fine. Okay, now this only you need to remember. A 362 crore Bharat Electronics Limited BEL advanced night vision products factory has been opened in Nimmaluru, Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so what you will remember, those two companies who have gotten the contract for making 30,000 night sites, and this BEL advanced night vision product factory has been established in Nimmaluru, Andhra Pradesh. Then last topic is this: India's nuclear arsenal rises to around 190 warheads. This is SIP report. Yes. Okay, now see this. सबसे पहले first thing, this is about SIPRI, Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, named peace, but all it does is about arms, ammunition, what is the proliferation of it, what is import, export, all that. It deals with this. SIPRI is an independent international institution based in Sweden that researches conflict, armaments, military expenditure, all these. This is SIPRI. So every year they release their report. So the SIPRI 2026 report gives us some data points that can be used. Okay. Yeah. So it talked about, see, India used to have 180 nuclear stockpile. Okay, now we have increased this to 190 in last 1 year. Why we might have increased? Because of Operation Sindoor. So we are stockpiling our nuclear reserves more. So we have moved from 180 to 190. Okay, now next. Yeah, again, another thing is India's focus has been shown to be towards longer range nuclear weapons, because we have the capability right now to attack Pakistan and take care of it. But recently, in the last decade, our relations with China has also deteriorated. So that's why we are trying to make long range nuclear weapons. Okay, then Operation Sindoor has been highlighted by CIPRI, that because of this. Okay, then strikes are nuclear linked military facilities. Now here, so basically not very important for UPSC aspirant as such, but if you remember that Pakistan was saying that ceasefire was called by India. So basically India requested that please bring a ceasefire, we are not able to fight, whatever. And India said that because we were attacking some important installations in Pakistan, that is why ceasefire had to be called, and US was mediating that. Correct. Now, this has actually been the narrative by India has been proven right because of this report. So, in report they said that when India attacked Pakistan in Operation Sindoor, some of the nuclear facilities likely to have nuclear related roles during the conflict, those were hit, and that is why Indian narrative is extending that this is why US came into being. US came as a mediator, and we had to call for ceasefire. Okay, then cyber operations also entered active conflict during, you might remember, during Operation Sindhu, websites were getting hacked here, right, from India also, from Pakistan also. Okay, then yeah, see, India is the fifth largest military spender. Okay, there is USA, there is USA, China, Russia, Germany, India. So we are fifth. Now, one good point that can be quoted in Mains is basically India. India is the fifth largest military expender, but if you look at the biggest importer in the world, these other four countries are not there. So they are spending a lot of money, but essentially they must be manufacturing it domestically. They are not large importers. We are expending a lot of money, and we are the second largest importer in the world. That shows that India, one topic that you have in Mains is defense indigenization. So this highlights that India terribly needs defense indigenization, because we are one of the largest expender, but also one of the largest importer, while our other countries are not. Now, India actually used to be the largest importer. In this time period between 2021 to 25, we have been second. Why? Because this country of Ukraine, they don't have any weapons, this, that, nothing, and they have to fight war with Russia. So they are being supplied constant arms, and that is why they have become first, and we are second. Understood? Now, here also 92.1 billion is the military expenditure, which is 8.9% increase. Again, this is normal. Why? Because we were in a kinetic war. Last point. Yeah, global arms import leaders. So CIPRI identified this, we have already seen. So Ukraine, India, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Pakistan, these are the 5 largest, accounting for 35% of global arms. But difficult to quote this data because of Ukraine. So India, Saudi, Qatar and Pakistan, you can say that this is West Asia and South Asia, but you have a large percentage from Ukraine also. Okay, so becomes difficult to quote. But what you can understand here is major arms importer used to be Africa, because there were lot of conflicts, civil wars within Africa. So now that has fallen and these countries have taken precedence. Then nuclear armed state continue modernization. Now see, if I talk about nuclear stockpile in the world, it is decreasing, but it is not decreasing because of the reason that you might think that people are saying that nuclear is bad. It is decreasing because of USA and Russia retiring their old ones, correct? So they have very old nuclear weapons also. Now they are retiring, they have much better versions of it now. Also over time it has become useless. So they are retiring those now. Because of that, absolute figure of nuclear stockpile usually decreases. But if you see all the 9 countries that are nuclear power, US, Russia, UK, France, China, India, Pakistan, North Korea and Israel, all have continued modernizing their nuclear arsenal so that it is more accurate, it can go longer ranges, okay, it can be operated in all different conditions. All these increasingly relied on nuclear weapons as instrument of national power. Understood? So this is a nuance that nuclear stockpile will always decrease most years, but modernization is still going on. Okay, so this is it. Thank you.